Mr. Shashi Singh, President at All India Rubber Industries Association. Mr. Singh, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now. So there are reports which suggest that good monsoon could lead to bumper crop of rubber as well. What are your estimates? How much of an uptake in production of rubber are you penciling in for this year?
Yeah, it's definitely going to increase because if the good monsoon is good, the yield will be high, and this will impact after the stopping of the monsoon. But current price of natural rubber is upward trend.
That's as far as rubber prices are concerned, but let me shift our focus back to production. You're saying that we could see an increase in production this year. If you can quantify that for us, because several farmers are suggesting that perhaps it could rise by 5 to 10%. Is that the estimate that you are working with too?
Yeah, we are also expecting that from last year production of 1 lakh, 8,57,000 ton to now this 25-26 year is expecting to 9,50,000 approx 9,50,000 ton.
From 8 lakh tons last year, it is expected to rise to 9.5 lakh tons. Am I getting it right?
Yeah, 8.57 to 9.57.
Understood. We get that point. So that's a substantial increase on a year-on-year basis. Now, since you were talking about rubber prices, I understand prices in the international market have risen. If you can elaborate it for us, how much has the increase been in the international market?
Yeah, it's going up because demand is high and the impact in Indian market as well. If you compare the last 3 months, it's gradually increasing slowly, but gradually increasing from 198 to it's now 204, and end user approximately end user is getting around 215, 210 rupees per kg. And this will
Understood.
further increase little bit, yeah.
Okay, so that's as far as increase in rubber prices are concerned back home in the domestic market as well. But what's the outlook going forward? Now that you're saying that production is likely to increase over the next few months, could prices soften over the next few months as and when the production increases? All right, I think we have snapped that line. We'll try to reconnect in just a bit. But just to give you a brief on what the demand dynamics look like, remember demand from the tire sector continues to remain very strong. Although in the international market, rubber prices continue to remain very soft. In fact, they've fallen over the last few months. And on the back of that, we're seeing the impact of falling rubber prices back home in India as well. And as Mr. Shashi Singh was mentioning, perhaps prices are likely to soften in the domestic market over the next few months. But shifting focus, we'll try to reconnect in just a bit. But for now, US breakfast may get costlier, all thanks to 50% tariffs on Brazil, as coffee prices are expected to get expensive. Let's go across to Kanishka to get us more details on this. Kanishka, over to you.
From your morning coffee to a glass of orange juice, breakfast in America could soon become a bigger bill, thanks to the new 50% tariff on Brazilian imports. Well, Brazil, a global agri powerhouse, is the top supplier of coffee and orange juice to the US, accounting for nearly a third of US coffee imports and over half of the orange juice sold in the country. Now, that's close to 8 million bags of coffee and 80% share in global juice trade. With tariffs kicking in, importers could likely face rising costs, squeezed margins, and potential supply disruptions, all of which could push food prices higher across the board. Well, it's not just US's brew and juice. Brazil also exports sugar, beef, and ethanol to US, all now caught in the tariff crossfire. In fact, industry voices, they're warning that this move could ripple through the US food and beverage industry, impacting both consumers and also thousands of jobs that are tied to these supply chains. So US's breakfast may just burn a little hole in people's wallet before the toast does.
Okay, so prices of coffee in the United States are set to surge on account of tariffs that have been imposed at the rate of 50% on Brazil. Thanks, Kanishka, for joining us with all those details. But let's shift our focus back to the rubber industry, and Mr. Singh is back with us. Mr. Singh, I was talking to you about prices of rubber. We just discussed that prices in the international market have risen and that they have risen in the domestic market as well. But going forward with the expectation of increased production, do you expect prices to soften over the next few months?
Yeah, because of that, the impact of monsoon will be there. There will be little bit softened, but same time there are lots of challenges as well. During the monsoon, tapping will almost stop, and the demand also increasing same way. from last 14.86 lakhs tons to now it will be expecting somewhere around 15.6 lakhs ton. So there is a demand supply, there is a gap between demand and supply. So not very much impact on reducing size I'm looking forward.
Not expecting prices to fall at least in the near future. And since you said that demand is very strong, if you can split that for us, demand from tire industry versus non-tire industry, and also quantify how much increase in demand are we expecting from the tire industry this time?
So as you know that tire industries are consuming approximately 70% of the natural rubber production and 30% by non-tire. So tire industry is also doing good and non-tire also doing good. Non-tire have an option of using synthetic rubber as well. That is also a challenge for other. So majority on a tire sector.
Understood. So demand from tire sector continues to remain very strong, and so does from the non-tire sector as well. But since this time around production is expected to be on the higher side because of good monsoon, if you can tell us which regions in India are expected to contribute to higher production this time?
More production, and as traditional Kerala is there. But you know that we as a country as a consumer, we are second in the world, and as a producing, we are fourth in the world.
Demand continues to remain very strong, and across regions we are expecting increase in production this time on account of better monsoon. Mr. Singh, thank you so much for taking your time out and joining us here on ET Now and helping us understand what the outlook is for the rubber industry going forward. But shifting focus